I think that is a comfort. I will say in med school, I didn't really have friends in med school. I grew up here, so like all my friends are here already. I think in residency, I spend much more time with my residency class than I have spent with others in medicine in the past. And I think there's a certain level of like complexity and like medical knowledge that is required to like complain about certain things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so you vent, and I think there's a way that a lot of medical professionals cope. It's hard to, I put this on my girlfriend from time to time, and uh, I think it's evident that weight is not light from time to time. And this job is hard. There are definitely days like I feel totally burnt out and beat. This past week was rough in the hospital, and I think we had a patient who's just kind of, she's so sick, and her family is so loving and caring for her, and had one of the hardest like goals of care discussion regarding kind of helping them grasp the concept that she will most likely die in the hospital. And it's like, those are like, there are days where that really just weighs on you. And so that's something, like I find a position like where I care about her, this is like my patient, and I feel like I've gotten to know her over a couple of weeks, and I'll only know her for like this short window of time, but it is something that it is much more impactful relationship than I've had with a lot of people I've known much longer than that. And I think you need to find a way to, like, I have to kind of limit how much I talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so with my girlfriend, like when I try to get in this practice of being like, can I just like can I just tell you like what happened, and then I don't want to like talk about it after.
Yeah. It's like, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like and we do that with like our coworkers too, of like, be like, hey, can we vent about what happened at work today? And then we don't talk about work anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the things, because I think aside from that, you need to really, like, as I'm looking for a job outside of, when I get done with residency, a lot of my mentors have been kind of telling me like, make sure that you want to go somewhere where you'll be happy, but also that where you can see yourself having stability outside of work. I think the work is sometimes so stressful that I think it's you need to prep yourself for those moments when it gets hard.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to like go down like unhealthy habits at home when you're unable to deal with that stress. So kind of making sure you're kind of set and doing well outside of work, I think is probably the most important thing. And then when these days come, you kind of vent about it in the interim,
Yeah, I mean, because we actually were meant to have this interview like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But you found some nice work-life balance by attending an University of Oregon football game, and so even today, prior to you coming here and talking with me today, you were at work.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So I was just like, oh, wow, this guy must be exhausted. And, for you to take the energy to at least look at some of the things I needed to look at before coming over, I was just like, holy, I'm very appreciative that, you didn't just say, hey, I'm exhausted. I'm going to go home. I'm going to sleep. Let's try again in 2023.
Well, for the audience, I feel like I've rescheduled on you like multiple times.
A little bit.
No, I felt bad, man, and no, I appreciate your flexibility with all that. It's something that it comes with the territory of the job, where I've gotten a lot better at just being okay with like missing out on things.
Sure.
So I'm like, it's gonna be worse to stress about what I'm missing out on when I'm at work. And you learn that it's something that, again, like sometimes you expect to be out by 5 and you're there till 10 p.m. And that sucks.
Yeah.
And then you got to wake up the next day and go right back to it. Like, you don't get the extra 5 hours back,
Yeah.
And it does suck in that time, but it is also part of the job. And I think over time you kind of learn to like expect that
Mm-hmm.
and be okay with it. But yeah, there are times that does like affect your life outside of medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and so just gotta prep for that.
So in this trying to figure out KJ outside of work, what is something you discovered that you like to do that gives you peace and kind of can clear your mind and let you do something that's not medical related or doesn't have medical creep into your mind some way somehow?
Yeah, I think when COVID started, I was supposed to travel
Mm-hmm.
for like 3 months before I started residency, and that all those plans got shot to shit.
Yep.
So I started cooking. I used to always cook growing up, but I would not say I was a good cook.
Yeah.
But I think I've got like a decent foundation now where I feel comfortable in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I think cooking is a way for me to work with my hands, and it's also I can be a little bit creative without the pressure of fucking up.
Yeah.
Like there's no person on the other end of this. That's like it's just gonna be me that's eating this food.
Yeah. You're doing this to yourself.
Yeah. And so that is a good escape for me. I like to travel, but yeah, I think from solitary wellness activity is probably cooking. It's what keeps me sane.
Yeah. For cooking, for me, I to this day don't know how to combine spices. And there are a lot of times I'm cooking, like meal prepping, and then I'm like, you know what, let's put some basil and I don't know, cumin or something like that. And my partner, she just looks at me weird. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, let me roll with this. Let me roll with this. And then it's like, it still turns out okay, but you know, she's very kind and like, oh, it's good. It's good. It's like, it's okay. You can say it. I need to know how to figure out how to add spices together. So I just remember there is some like there's some like peacefulness when it comes to just like focusing on I'm making some like putting all these different things together and making something that could be good, could be bad, but either way, it's in the rest at the end of the day, I did this.
Yeah. There's honestly, it's kind of like it's fun to just kind of say, I don't know, let's fuck it up and see what happens.